Hey, everybody. We are at episode 3 of the Illinois podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm with my beautiful co-host, my wife, Neha. Neha, how you doing, babe?
Doing great, Joe. How are you?
I am doing better now because I'm with you, of course.
Aw.
I think it's probably imperative for at least us to back up to last week when we were talking about our favorite Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks songs. And it was my turn, I think, to bring the heat. Bring the heat. My name's a ghost slider. Bring the heat. Nope. Bring the heat. Don't do introduction. So I want to tell you my favorite Stevie Nicks song. I know yours was my honorable mention. Edge of 17. Phenomenal song. Phenomenal song. I know that was your favorite, and that's actually like singularly Stevie Nicks singing. We said Stevie Nicks song. Your pick is going to be the best because it's actually truly what we asked to do. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, but that's my honorable mention. My pick is, I got another honorable mention, just really quick. She was in a band, wasn't she? She was in a band.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. If you're doing that and you're also eating, you might have Fleetwood Mac and cheese. Doesn't matter. But she was in Fleetwood Mac for sure, right? She was. And my favorite honorable mention, not my favorite song. Another honorable mention for me would be Landslide from Drewski. From Drewski. Drewski, you said that the other day. That cracked me up.
Right, your friend Drewski.
Drewski from Zona. I hear you, brother. That's another honorable mention for me. Amazing song. Billy Corgan did that song as well, and he actually crushed the song. But he and Anthony Kiedis, they can't sing.
I think that's why they're looking for another member.
They do, yeah. You said Pumpkins were
replace him on the vocals and he go on the guitar.
They throw away the microphone. They're like, no microphone. But my favorite one is Fleetwood Mac's an amazing band, but during that same time, another band was pretty awesome too.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers
is an amazing band, and Tom Petty with Stevie Nicks did a song called "Stop Dragging My Heart Around," which is amazing and should have been an honorable mention. But I only had 2 I was going to roll with. Could be. Pretty sure it's Stop, but it could be Quit. Either or sounds great. Quit dragging my. That sounds great.
Wilburys.
And Traveling with Bob Dylan. And
George Harrison.
Yes. Anyways, great call out with that.
But wait, you were talking about the Eagles.
The Eagles, and not Steve Miller Band. Fly like an eagle. No, but the Eagles.
California.
Nice. It's not a lonely place. But it is a place for one song that Don Henley is in the Eagles, and Don Henley did a song with Stevie Nicks called
Leather and Lace.
Favorite song. Check it out if you haven't seen it before. I do recognize, and I even see it now. I'm going to try now to be a little more cognizant of it. There's another great song that's nowhere near that as Stevie Nicks or anything, but it's by Puddle of Mud. And it's called Blur. And I saw last episode, and I get it. I'm very animated. So sometimes I'm like, everything's so blurry. I get it. I'm like Puddle of Mud. I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit. In fact, I'll put my hands here on. Neha can see. You guys can't see. I'll put my hands on the table so they're not moving around so much. Yeah. So, anyways, she's waving around. You just don't get. Yeah. So that's my Knicks picks. A couple honorable mentions there, but yeah. And Edge of 17 though. So it's all right, I can say. Ooh, baby. Anyways, but we should go to the football picks from last week that we made.
Right. The 2 divisional playoff games.
The 2 conference championship games, for sure.
Right, conference.
Yep. And the NFC is probably the one we weren't as invested in. I think that's safe to say. Yeah. But we both, in our hearts, wanted the Lions to beat the 49ers. Like, that's safe to say. Like you did say you thought 49ers going to win. I obviously I kind of agreed with you, but then we did the whole bet. We won't worry about that. But it was the Lions against 49ers. And in that game, in the first half, we were watching that, and I was having a couple glasses of water. And we were watching that game, and the Lions came out strong and started kicking the shit out of the 49ers. And
They're like,
We're like, whoa, right? And
like they're gonna take them.
Yeah, it was at least 21-7. At least 21. I haven't looked at it, but at least 21-7. And then in the second half, a couple things happened. First off, Dan Campbell, the guy that I said, and I think you agree, like we love, like he's ugly. I mean, run through a wall for this fucker, but he's a gambler. He's like Kenny Rogers, and unfortunately, he didn't know when to hold him or fucking fold, right? Because he kept going for it on fourth down, and they kept not getting it. And then 49ers, where in the first half, and even Brock Purdy, their starting quarterback there, in the first half.
Well, I noticed that Brock Purdy, like, he got older.
Yeah, he did. Like
he went from high school to college.
Yeah, like every day,
like starting NFL.
Yeah, like he's old. He like honestly, like he's older today than yesterday. Like it's great. But he was like average in the first half. You know, maybe even and he had a couple passes. If you watch fucking game, well, they should have got picked up, and it would have been a totally different game. Lions would have been in the Super Bowl right now, and we all know that. So Lions kind of okay, but Lions were killing. But then the second half, they started playing pretty fucking good. And when guys weren't open, and guys like, you know, I don't know, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brendan Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, got a couple options, Kelly. Got a couple options.
Those weapons.
Got a couple weapons.
He like actually started using them because before that he like
tried to. Lions defense stifled them a little bit. They stifled them. But
like
second half,
he did a pretty good job.
He did pretty good. He did do pretty good.
He started pretty.
He did. You sound like that movie. Anyway, you guys remember but that's something to work about. No, so then Brock Purdy and the 49ers, like they took it home after that, and they won the game by 3. Anyways, so the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, right? And they're representing the NFC, the National Football Conference, as you said so eloquently last week.
But they are not the San Francisco team of the 80s and 90s.
They're not.
So I don't think
they're not.
The Chiefs have too much to worry about.
Well, they're not that though. They're not. You're right. Joe Montana is not walking. Steve Young's not walking through that door. It's still Brock Purdy, but Jerry Rice isn't walking through that door. John Taylor's not walking through the door. Tom Rathman's not walking through that door. Roger Craig's not walking through the door. Brett Jones doesn't walk through that door. We know it. They're not the team of the 80s. But they are the team now. So kudos to the fucking 49ers who fucking made it happen. Like, all props to them. San Francisco used to be a lot cooler than it is now, but it's still cool.
It's tough to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they got there.
So
but in the tip of that. But in the AFC, we had the Ravens, potentially the best team of the regular season. Lamar Jackson's probably going to win an MVP for the regular season. A lot of weapons. Zay Jones is a beast. We'll talk about him in a second. You know, Mark Andrews is back. They're big time tight end. They still got fucking Isaiah Likely, but they got Mark Andrews. They got Gus Edwards running the ball. So what? And again, Lamar Jackson, probable regular season MVP, right? Probably probable with the swag. We said it last episode. Swagalicious, right? Like it's pretty swaggy. He's pretty swaggy. But then on the other side of the game, was a couple guys like rookie Rashee Rice, running back Isaiah Pacheco, who you referenced last episode. And kudos to you, you just fucking threw Pacheco out there. Travis Kelce, that's the first time I've said Tay-Tay's boyfriend, but like that. And coached by Andy Reid. But what we told you guys is you never, ever, I mean, if you can bet against someone, bet against a bunch of people, but you never, and I mean never, bet against who, baby girl? Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Lamar Holmes or Levon Holmes? I think it's Levon Mahomes. The other thing I said, I think it's Levon. And if I'm wrong, Patrick, my apologies. But you never bet against Patrick Mahomes. Let's just do first name, last name. Never bet against Patrick Mahomes. And to be honest, in that game, where Lamar Jackson might have been the regular season MVP, my love, but he did not look like the playoff MVP in that game. But it wasn't because of Patrick Mahomes. If we can be honest, Patrick Mahomes played great because he's Patrick Mahomes. He didn't play amazingly great, but he played great. But who really played great and wasn't one person? It was a group. It was a side of the team. And it wasn't the special teams who were good. And it wasn't the office. Travis Kelce, we see you, 11 catches, 115 yards, touchdown. We see ball. But it wasn't you. Patrick, you did your shit, didn't give the ball. We see you. But if you talk to someone who maybe doesn't speak perfect, but you know where he's at, like he won't say, hey, there's the fence. He'll say, hey, here's the fence. The defense of the Chiefs was
we're stopping
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They crushed it. And I kind of, from you, 49ers.
Kelce, I mean.
Anyways, but hold on. And that's me. But, it's more than though just, Patrick Mahomes for sure. I mean, there's Travis Kelce. But as you know, because you are a Swiftie, and I support her when I'm not singing in the shower, Shake It Off, every other week. But I support her. I know how much you love her. But she's doing something pretty cool for the Super Bowl. What is she doing, baby? It's pretty cool.
She has a concert in Japan.
Yeah.
The day before. She was taking a 12-hour flight.
Nice.
To Vegas to
12-hour flight
to attend the Super Bowl to see Travis play.
That's love. That's even if they're not in love. That's love. I mean, that's love. So
and unfortunately, he won't be able to accompany her to the Grammys because he'll be on a tight Super Bowl regimen.
Right. But if he could, he would. If I could, I would. Anyways, but yes, I think it's pretty, impressive. And I do want to say really quick that all the guys, none of you guys listening because you guys are just seeing this wacky dude and this beautiful girl, but all you guys that are all against her, she's getting all this, oh, she gets so much care. But do you realize she doesn't need any camera? She doesn't need any attention. She's just there supporting her guy. And I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. So if you got a problem to a certain degree, if you look really into it, you might not have a problem with her doing that. You might have a problem with yourself. Anyways, but we know all you guys watching this probably give her props and respect for that, and much respect for that. She's taking like a 12-hour flight to watch the game. It's pretty fun. And she's gonna be she's gonna be like so happy for her guy and stuff like that, which is really cool. Now, what is really crazy is that Patrick Mahomes now, as we said before, not only did he make it to 6 AFC championships as a row each time as a full-time starter. We know he started last game of his rookie year, didn't play the whole year, played the last game. We get it all. And once he started in year 2, from till now, 6 years in a row, made it to the AFC Championship, 4 of the last 5, made it to the Super Bowl. He's already won 2 of the 3 he's been in, so now here's the 4th one. We'll talk about what that actually means later. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be thought of as one of, if not the, because no one's done what he's done, GOATs. And I mean, I'm not talking about like the GOAT that's really good to eat. But I'm talking about like greatest of all time and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, I think like your generation, and most people would think, who's the actual GOAT? Like, who's the best of the best, the guy with most of the accolades and everything? It's obviously
Michael Jordan.
No, in football. Who's the Michael Jordan in football?
Okay, will it be Tom Brady?
Yeah, 7, and it is Michael Jordan of all sports. So she's right, but she's right. But in
I
football,
wasn't paying attention. When I just think GOAT, I just go Michael Jordan.
Right. Nice. Which you should, because I think it's Michael GOAT Jordan or Jeffrey. It should be GOAT. So you're right about that. But for sure, most people would say the GOAT is Tom Brady. I think it's kind of hard to argue against it. He's got 7 championships. He's been there 10 times. I mean, it's pretty fucking impressive.
Out of 20 years, he's been to 10 Super Bowls.
22 maybe, but still, like 45% of the time and stuff like that. Like 45%. So GOAT for sure. Now, there's a whole side argument to be and it's just worth like at least just talking. So in the 10 games that Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl, I would say for the first 4 to 5, of the times he was there, he was nowhere near the best player on the field. And it's true. Now, in like his career is like two careers because like the first half he was like kind of like the ultimate game manager, and they had a great defense. Bill Belichick's like greatest defensive mind of all time, greatest coach of all time, and he was the coach. And they weren't like being carried by Tom Brady. They were being carried by the defense. They could run the ball, and then it was up to Tom to like make smart throws and like not turn the ball over, but not really beat the man. So I mean, the argument with that would be just a slight argument, and I know most people disagree, and I like it. So comment and be like, no, it's obviously Tom. I get it, 7 out of 10, and part of me says you're right, but there's another part of me. And it goes to the basketball argument too, so I'll just bring it there for a second. So Tom's got 7 wins, and the guy I'm going to mention has 4, and we'll talk about him. You probably already know what I'm talking about. In basketball, Bill Russell has 11. So Tom has 7. Bill Russell has 11, and who I think, and I know LeBron people who like 4 and 6 finals records, who like all the accolades and everything that LeBron's done. Like to say LeBron's better than Mike because he went to 10, won 4. But Michael Jordan in basketball, of course, won 6, and he was 6-0, never lost. So just, anyways, but Bill Russell went 12 times in the NBA and won 11. So 11 and 1 in his career. But Michael went 6 and won 6. And in all 6 games, he was best player. And it wasn't an argument. So I want you to keep with that knowledge for a half second. So in football, Tom Brady has 7 wins. No doubt. And 7-3. Lost twice to Eli Manning. Not to Peyton Eli. But less for the 2 Manning. But anyway, 7-3. Had the undefeated season that they lost to Eli in the Super Bowl. Anyway, but he did that, in his peak of his powers when he had Randy fucking Moss. Other than Jerry Rice, the greatest probably was receiver of all time. So Tom is 7-3. 10.
Not in the playoffs.
No, in the Super Bowl. Went 10 times, won 7 of them. 7-3. Amazing. And most people say he's a GOAT. Most people say, okay, but we're just talking about quarterbacks. So with the Michael Jordan to Bill Russell logic, remember, Bill Russell went 11-1. And he was the greatest defensive player for sure in those things. Bill Russell, I'll give you props on that. But offensively, never was. Michael Jordan, on the other hand, for most, and Scotty was great. But think about how good Scotty would be without Mike. And I know Scotty was great the first year when Michael retired. With the second year that Michael was retired, if you remember, he put his shoe up with the swoosh and was like, Michael, come back. And we all remember that Scotty. And also used it now 2.8 seconds when it was set for Tony Kukoc to get the game when he shot and he won. We remember all that. Michael, 6-0. But every game that he played, he was the best player. Okay. Bill Russell, you could argue a lot of times he played against Wilt Chamberlain. Okay. Wilt Chamberlain was a better player than Bill Russell. Bill Russell had the better team.
Oh, Walt Chamberlain's twin?
Yes, Walt Chamberlain's twin. Yes. So with that same logic, I use that with Joe Montana. I see you, Joe, who, by the way, Tom Brady loves. It was his fucking hero. I mean, him and Steve Young, he grew up right outside of San Francisco. Like, he loved them. And he would say, like, I'm not Joe Montana, I'm me and stuff like that, Joe Montana went to only 4, not 10, like Tom. Tom 7-3, went to 10, amazing. Joe Montana went to 4, right? And in 3 of those, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. We need to look up how many Super Bowl MVPs Tom Brady has, but I don't think he has more than the 3 Joe Montana had. 4 games, 3 MVPs. And the 1 year that Joe did not win the Super Bowl MVP, and you referenced him, is when the greatest, probably football player, but definitely wide receiver of all time, Jerry Rice, became the MVP because he caught 200-something yards receiving. That Joe threw like 400 of those. Okay, so like half of the 400 he threw, Jerry caught, and that's a lot for a receiver. He won. Like that's my argument, Ghost Style. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, it's got to be Tom. Oh, it's got to be Tom." But I think it could be Mark. But what I love,
we have Patrick Mahomes coming.
We do have
And
Patrick.
we have to yet to see him play.
But who else do you see? I mean, you've been watching football off and on for a while. Other than, you really didn't see Joe Montana. I get that. But other than Tom, who you saw all the time, and Patrick, who you see now, like, who else would you say? And there's other guys, like Michael's, I think, the greatest, but there's so many great basketball players. So who else would you say football-wise? Quarterback-wise?
I mean, who possibly could have been?
Yeah,
if
could have.
things had happened differently.
Maybe Peyton Manning.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, he went to one Super Bowl. Sorry, Mark. He's awesome. And so was Brett Favre. And Brett wants it too. Brett wants it twice as many as Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is amazing. But and Aaron Rodgers had all these regular season MVP. Aaron Rodgers is actually, like said, hey, Peyton, that's cute what you did. I think I'll go there because he's got more regular season MVPs than even Peyton. So, yeah, but Aaron Rodgers has one Super Bowl appearance. And he won.
Yeah, but
he won once.
Dan Marino has none.
No, he won. He's got one Super Bowl appearance.
Right, but he didn't win any.
He played against Joe Montana in the 49ers.
But I'm saying he didn't win any.
He did not.
Aaron Rodgers did win one.
He did.
So I'm just saying, like,
right.
When I said,
so your logic is Aaron Rodgers is better than Dan Marino with that logic.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the stats.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that there's talent everywhere,
right.
and it should be appreciated.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You can't just be like, oh, this is the best team, or this is the. I mean,
best player. Yeah.
I love the Chiefs.
You do.
I love the Chiefs since I was a young adult.
You loved them with like Alex Smith as quarterback. Like you're not just like since Patrick Mahomes. You loved him before Patrick Mahomes. Like you're a legit Chiefs fan, and I respect that. I do.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, like, it's hard to just be like, I'm set on this team. I'm set on this team because.
But we're saying GOAT. Who's the GOAT?
GOAT.
Tom, right? Gotta be Tom.
It's hard to say that because
the first half of Tom's career, he wasn't like Tom Brady. Like he was awesome.
He became
in his role.
He became that star player.
Yeah, look at the first half of his career against Peyton Manning.
2010s.
Yeah.
I think later, but we'd have to be like, oh, how many Super Bowl MVPs did he have?
Yeah.
If it's 4 more, 5, then we could be like, okay, maybe, but maybe he's a GOAT in his own way.
Yeah.
Joe Montana is a GOAT in his own way.
Well, again, and this is an argument.
This is quarterback GOAT.
Yeah, and this is an argument I will lose on the internet, and I understand. Because I get 7 is greater than 4. I get 10 is greater than 4. Because I know Joe Montana only went to 4. But I would like you to think for a second how Bill Russell in basketball is not the GOAT, even though he has 11 championships. And a lot of people, if they don't say LeBron, would say Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the GOAT. And he's got 6, and Bill's got 11. Okay, so Bill has basically twice as many as Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who most people say is the greatest of all time, because it's not just about the rings, it's about how dominant he was. Michael in the NBA, went to 6 championships, won 6 of them, and was the MVP and the best player every time. Joe Montana went to 4, and the only time of the 4 he wasn't the best player is when he threw for like 400 yards, maybe 300 and something, and I'm exaggerating. I haven't looked at stats before we did it. But he had a great game. But most of it was thrown to the greatest wide receiver of all time, who's probably the greatest player of all time, in Jerry Rice.
But it looks like right now, the way things are pacing with Patrick Mahomes, he's in better shape than Joe Montana.
No, I don't know about Joe. Well, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
What years in his career did Joe Montana go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think in his 3rd year, I might be wrong. You fact checkers will let me know. I think his third.
And same with
year.
Brady. And so, taking those things in recognition and then being like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes, he went to the AFC Championship 6 times in a row since he started as the main quarterback.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing. And you don't even think about that. 6 in a row.
Out of those 6 times, 4 times he went to the
4 out of the last 5. 4 out of the last 5. 4 out of the last 5. Right. Joe Burrow beat him, and Tom Brady beat him. And Joe Burrow had an amazing year that year when he stayed healthy. He usually doesn't.
Well, no. Only one time he's lost at the Super Bowl.
Yes, to Tom Brady.
And one time,
Tom Brady also beat him in the AFC Championship Series. His first time he went there, and the Patriots won against the Chiefs to make the Super Bowl that year.
Five times. This is the 6th year. 5 times he. How many of the 5 times prior to this one did he win at the AFC Championship?
Got 3. No.
4.
2. To make it to the Super Bowl, 3. He made it there 3 times, and he won 2 of the 3. The one he lost is to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't get injured, if he keeps going the pace it is going, if he's still like
could have beat him to go. Couldn't have. And we gotta tell your brother to stay away from him because we know your brother likes to go. But I want to switch gears here for a second, and it's not always gonna be like this and stuff, but this thing happens. So when I was in my mid-20s, I had the luxury of taking my undergraduate in psychology degree from Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois. What up, Huskies?
And what up, Lauren?
Your friend Lauren,
who went to
is a Husky too. Lauren!
San Diego.
California. But I worked. I went with my psychology degree, and I went to work for a therapeutic recreational center. And I worked with kids that came from crappy environments and stuff. And parental rights were taken away; they had to live somewhere, and they lived at this residential treatment facility. Now it's in Illinois, and I did that for 7.5 years. And it's to this day it's the most impactful thing I ever did, for sure, because it was physically and emotionally taxing, but it was also spiritually rewarding and uplifting, and so many amazing people that I worked with at that time, working with these kids and adolescents and stuff.
And you said that you passed by there?
I did. So I passed by there really quick this weekend in Addison, Illinois. We don't live more than 50 minutes away or so. And I went there, and it's gone. They tore it down. And I went there like a couple of years ago, and it was still there, but it was like abandoned, but it was comfortable just still seeing it there, just thinking about that. And it was gone. But it made me think about an amazing time in my life. So many amazing people on my personal Facebook page. I put something about it the other day I did, and it helped kind of formulate who I am. But I'm also glad for the wonderful women that I worked with at that time. I'm going to name off 3 really quick and then give an honorable mention. You'll see why. But 3 women that really worked in the same cottage that I was running, stuff like that, but like were coworkers, not anything more, anything less, but amazing women. But I want to give a shout out to Bree. I want to give a shout out to Anna. I want to give a shout out to Trish. And honorable mention style is one of my boys who's in heaven's sister, who I worked with, not at my cottage, but at the facility, Milena. We see you go. But I just want to say how much it meant to me to kind of go by the place and see it was gone. But think about all the beauty that existed in it and what still exists within me, because working there and working with those. So thank you for. I know we're not going to do that all the time, although.
It was great that you shared that experience.
Yeah.
And something that was so close to your heart.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I think we want to wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. But instead of singing a rap song, why don't we tell people about how they can get a hold of us, I guess?
Yeah. So I am going to post below the clip here.
Yep.
We do have social media.
Nice.
We have Pinterest. We have Instagram. We have TikTok, and we do have Facebook. And then next week, I will be putting up the site, so you can catch all our videos in one spot.
Nice.
And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you like us.
Nice.
And we can't wait to see more of you guys. And pretty soon, we'll be having you guys will be able to call in and tell us
interaction. Interaction.
Yes.
Will be you guys and us will be like this whole party and stuff like that. It'll be a great thing. What's great is the fact that we all now have ways in which that you guys can talk to us, and then we can be a little bit more interactive and like really feel what it's all about. So we love it. We love you guys. We love each other. Love you, baby girl.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.